It all began on an ordinary Saturday morning in the living room of a small suburban house. The sun poured gently through the windows, birds chirped outside, and all seemed peaceful until a man named Alex decided to try something new with his cat, Muffin. Muffin was not just any cat. She was a 4-year-old short-haired tabby with striking green eyes and an attitude larger than her fluffy body. She ruled the apartment like a queen and treated her human like a low-level servant. She was clever, moody, proud, and absolutely convinced that she had mastered every corner of her kingdom. Alex, however, had been scrolling through social media the night before and discovered a new viral trend: the invisible wall challenge. The challenge was simple. Stretch a piece of clear plastic wrap tightly across a hallway or doorway at cat-level height, press record, and watch as your cat attempts to pass through what appears to be empty space and fails hilariously. Some cats paused, some jumped, some barreled into it. All of them were confused. Alex was immediately intrigued. He went to the kitchen, unrolled a long piece of cling film, and began setting it up between 2 door frames. He made sure it was taut, perfectly transparent, and just low enough to hit Muffin mid-body. If she tried to strut through the hallway as usual, then he grabbed his phone, opened the camera app, and waited. Muffin was in the bedroom, lounging in a sunbeam, completely unaware of the trap being set. Alex called out casually, "Muffin, breakfast!" That was the magic word. From the bedroom, the unmistakable sound of a cat thumping onto the floor echoed down the hallway. Her paw steps were soft but purposeful. She turned the corner with her usual confidence, tail held high like a royal banner. Alex grinned and positioned the camera. Muffin approached the hallway at full cat strut speed. She didn't slow down. Why would she? This was her house, her hallway. Then it happened. The moment her head passed into the hallway, she made contact with the invisible barrier. Her nose bumped the film. Her body followed, only to be stopped cold. Her front paws lifted, her back legs kept walking, and her face scrunched into a baffled expression of absolute betrayal. Alex burst out laughing. Muffin stumbled backward, shook her head, and stared at the empty space. She looked left, then right, then back at Alex, with narrow, squinting eyes. Her pride had been wounded. Alex chuckled. "Sorry, Muff. Just a little prank." Muffin blinked slowly. She didn't move. She sat there, tail flicking, eyes locked on the invisible barrier. Then, like any sophisticated feline, she tried again, but slower this time. She moved forward cautiously, raising one paw to test the air. The paw met resistance. She recoiled slightly, sniffed the film, and tried to understand what dark magic had suddenly invaded her home. She stood on her hind legs and batted the air gently with both front paws, pressing and poking. The film quivered. Alex whispered to himself, "Oh, this is gold." Muffin dropped back down and began pacing. She walked left, then right, staring at the wall, sniffing the air again, calculating. The wheels in her head were clearly turning. After a few minutes of study, she turned and casually walked away, only to reappear a moment later, running at full speed, clearly thinking that if she hit it hard enough, she could break through. She couldn't. The plastic wrap absorbed the blow, held firm, and sent her bouncing backward in a disoriented tumble. She flipped, twisted in midair, and landed with the awkward grace only cats can achieve. Then she sat upright, shook her fur back into place, and began grooming as if to say, "I meant to do that." Alex was nearly in tears from laughing, but the game wasn't over. Now Muffin was serious. She narrowed her eyes and stared at the clear wall with a look that promised vengeance. She took a different tactic, skirting the baseboard, crawling low, trying to get under it. But the plastic stretched low and refused to yield. Next, she tried jumping over it. She leapt. Graceful, powerful, but just a hair too low. Her front paws hit the top of the plastic, and she ended up clinging to the wrap for dear life, scrambling to scale it like a mountaineer on an ice wall. It stretched and trembled, but didn't break. Eventually, Muffin slid down in defeat, landing with a soft plop on the floor. She sat again, this time staring at Alex with an expression that clearly read, "You'll pay for this." Alex couldn't stop grinning. "Muffin, I love you, but this is the funniest thing I've ever seen." He lowered the camera to review the footage, chuckling at every moment. Her face, the bounce, the slide, the side eye. It was comedy gold. While he was distracted, Muffin slinked away. 5 minutes passed. 10. Alex looked around. Muffin. No response. He stood up and walked toward the hallway. The plastic wall was still intact. The challenge was still ongoing. He peeked around the corner. Muffin. Still nothing. He turned around. That's when he saw her. Muffin had somehow made it into the living room. Without going through the hallway, she was sitting on the couch, calm as a queen, staring at him smugly. Alex was confused. "How did you... wait?" He looked back. The hallway plastic was untouched. He turned around again and noticed that the window in the study was slightly open. It led to the fire escape, which curved around the building and connected to the balcony near the living room. Muffin had gone out the study window, climbed across the fire escape railing, and re-entered the apartment through the balcony door, all to bypass the invisible wall. Alex dropped onto the floor, laughing and groaning. "You win! You totally win!" Muffin meowed softly and began grooming her paw in the most unbothered manner possible. From that day forward, Alex never underestimated her again. But the saga didn't end there. A week later, Alex brought home a second cat, Toby. He was a lanky orange goofball with boundless energy and the brain power of a slice of bread. While Muffin was calculating and graceful, Toby was clumsy and fearless. Naturally, Alex decided to test Toby against the invisible wall. He set up the plastic wrap again, called out Toby's name, and waited. Toby came sprinting into the hallway, like a dog who'd heard the treat bag. He didn't even slow down. He slammed face first into the plastic wrap so hard that it actually detached on one side and crumpled onto the floor. Toby lay there for a second, eyes wide, legs sprawled, looking like someone who just discovered gravity. Then, to Alex's shock, Toby stood up, shook his fur, and charged at it again. This time, he barreled straight through the loose wrap like a furry bulldozer, tore it completely off the wall, and kept running, knocking over a lamp on his way to the kitchen. Alex stared in disbelief. Muffin, who had been sitting nearby watching, simply turned her head the other way, clearly embarrassed to be in the same house. Alex picked up the lamp, shook his head, and muttered, "Okay, so we've got one who's a genius escape artist, and one who's a wrecking ball." Later that evening, Alex rewatched the footage of both cats. Muffin's strategic analysis, Toby's chaotic destruction. Two very different approaches to the same challenge. He posted a split-screen video online. The title was simple: Cat versus Invisible Wall. Who wins? Within hours, it went viral. People commented by the thousands. Muffin is the brain. Toby is the brawn. This is a metaphor for life. Cats are either chess players or wrecking balls. No in between. I need a Netflix show with these two. The video racked up millions of views, and Muffin and Toby became online celebrities. People created fan art, t-shirts, even plush toys. But through all the fame and fanfare, Muffin remained unimpressed. she continued lounging in sunbeams, rejecting store-bought treats, and judging Toby from afar. Toby, on the other hand, chased his own tail on live streams, fell off counters mid-pounce, and became the internet's favorite cinnamon roll. As for Alex, he continued inventing new challenges: the laser maze, the cardboard labyrinth, the tower of treats. Each time Muffin analyzed, Toby exploded through it, and the internet? They couldn't get enough. But no matter how many new walls or tricks Alex created, Muffin never forgot the first time. The time she faced the invisible wall, assessed the trap, and refused to play by its rules. Because in her world, victory wasn't about breaking through. It was about knowing when to take the fire escape. If you love heartwarming animal stories, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more adorable adventures.